Hey, Hero fans, this is Todd. So, let's talk about what I've been up to. The first thing is, as you guys know, I really like the 2000X He-Man head sculpt, and I've used it a lot for a lot of figures. So, I got quite a few of these 2000X He-Man figures that I've had to either sell just the body or do something else with. So, I thought, you know what? I at least might as well make one look more like the cartoon. And so you guys have seen that I've changed this before. So this right here is actually pretty small, but I'll go through the whole thing even though I didn't do it all this week. And this small little grabber, um, it's so small that if you were to catch King Hiss or somebody else, he's still so close, he could still attack He-Man no problem. It doesn't actually have the idea of holding a snake entity away from him to actually, protect him from not being struck or bit by the snake. In fact, you know what? Let's just swap this out and put on the snake top. That way, a little more scary. I mean, you can see by the time he gets him around the waist, he's still toast. So in the cartoon, he has like a really long reach one, and so on my Shapeways, I made a nice long one. I printed it in yellow so that would already be easier to paint gold, and I tried to match it with the gold that is on He-Man already, and you can see now little more distance between him and the snake guy so he can attack. So the next thing that I wanted to address was his shield. Now, Evil Mike on Shapeways makes a really cool shield, so I got the shield and I took my time to paint it. He makes both a short version and a tall version, and I went ahead and bought the tall one. I figured if this actually moved, I'd buy both, but then if I buy both, then I'd have to paint all this detail on the other one, and it was a pain to paint this. So, so I only bought the tall one, and so now he has the cool snake armor shield. There we go. So it matches the cartoon. And the last thing, it's also sold in Mike's store. And oh, by the way, I got this in white and then painted it. Is the sword he comes with? Here it is. Doesn't have the cool snake armor sword that we see in the cartoon where it splits. So Evil Mike also sells that, and I bought this in a clear, and then I spray painted it silver, and then put a darker silver with mixed with black, and then I added some dark details, did the red on it, and now he has his 2000X split sword with the green shimmering magic energy power coming out of the center. So there we go. So now I know if you go on his website, you'll see that he actually painted this small little section right here. I just wanted to leave it green so it matched the cartoon better, and the detailing I'm trying to paint that'd be pretty tough. I'm not the best painter in the world, so I didn't want to risk it by trying to paint that little thing, and I like it green, personally. So it is slightly see-through, so that's kind of cool. So there we go. Now my snake armor He-Man is finally complete. He's got all of his weapons, and it'd be kind of cool if they made a weapon pack that included the split sword, the shield in and out, and some kind of longer grabber arm. And of course, I had to do the same for King Grayskull. He has his snake armor, and I got him the longer clamp snake grabber thing as well. All right, so that's what I've been up to so far. Is doing the or the snake armor He-Man, and what I've also been up to is making a new Homecoming He-Man. So here he is. I bought a bunch of figures in a pile on eBay, and I added a sword to him that actually glows in the dark. It's a custom sword. It's a full sword, not a half sword, so it's on both sides full. Used the new armor, did the crisscross in the back so it fits a little bit smaller frame. So I've been up to doing that. And in that auction, I also got some other figures that the paint was just messed up on. So I went back through and redid the silver, repainted his rear because it was all buffed off here. So that's what I've been up to as well with that. And I also finally finished my alternate optic. The concept is that optic is this little creature, and then he crawls into his suit of armor and then controls it with all his little tentacles going down into the armor. So really he's this little eyeball looking creature. And the problem I had with the old one is it was very sticky. And so I had to do a lot of stuff to fix it. Something else that's kind of cool about this is I made it so that it actually has a neck piece on there, so I can pop the eyeball off and on, so it's not glued into place. So I can swap it out with the other eyeball if I want to. So kind of cool. There he is, my optic. All right, so let's talk about some cool things you can do with, oh, something else that's right is I bought this Shira used, and she was in really bad shape. Her boots had the paint all flaked off of it and other things, so I decided to repaint them gold. Well, the problem is the Shira, back when we go, so the Shira that we usually get, this is actually more of a copperish color. Let's see if I can find one to show you. There we go. So you can see that normally it's more of a copperish color. This is more gold. So I wanted to kind of do a gold match on everything. And so I wanted to make sure the tiara was also gold. And so I took a Shira head like this and I painted it gold. And when I did, it just got all sticky and didn't work right. And it was like, ah. So I went and I bought that Shira ring that they sold online. And I made that fit, and that was really cool, and I liked that. But while I was waiting for this to show up in the mail, I ended up grabbing a 2000X Shira, took off her tiara, and put it on here, and I liked it a lot. And it's like, okay, that looks really cool. So I went ahead and went with this one. So now I got all these extra Shira heads of, I mean, this is cool, just a little bit too shiny, though, for my taste. I don't know, I might be selling her on eBay if somebody's interested. I don't know, I'll see. And, I do like the way the 2000X one came out. It's really cool. I did not have another red cape, so I did not want to go with the gold cape. So I decided to 3D print a new necklace for her, and I liked the one from Blink. I liked the way that looked, so I want that same style. But unfortunately, when I 3D printed it, it just didn't come out quite the way I wanted. This is the one I 3D printed right here, and then I painted it gold. It just looks a little blah. So I ended up taking the armband from Chief Carvinus, is that his name? And stuck it on her neck, and I think it looks really cool. And I took the other 3D print one, and I put it on SheRa. And I thought that was really cool. I didn't paint it. It was already black when I printed it. And speaking of SheRa, some things I've done in the past is I've actually made glow-in-the-dark swords for her by coating them with glowing paint. And some of you guys may have seen that in the past. Probably hard to see in all this bright light. And then I also put a glove. I cut the finger off it and made the mask so she looks kind of like she did in the cartoon. Now, because her ponytail sticks out so far, it does look kind of strange. But from the front, she's got the ninja kind of look, and that's what I was going for. So, SheRa. All right, so let's go ahead and put these away. And speaking of Shira, the way to make your ultimate Shira, some of you guys probably already know, is you take, oh, it's like she lost her tiara. This was kind of an interesting thing. When Mattel made this one, they made this hole in her head, and the hole in your head can make the tiara go down like this. It's like a mask, which I think looks the coolest. Or you can turn it over and put it like this, kind of reminiscent of the old Shira toy. And of course, I like the mask better. There we go. Ta-da. Well, anyway, you take this Shira, and you take the Bubble Power Shira, and the Bubble Power Shira has a wider skirt, not wider, whiter, and it has a split on the side so she could fit on her horse with her legs coming out. So what you do is you pull the head off, and you take off the gold yucky cape and put on the nice red cape, and then you take the secondary head that came with Shira, this one right here, and you pop it in place. And that makes your ultimate Shira. And you take off the armor, and of course take this Shira's weapons. Now, I wasn't a big fan of the extra detailing this Shira has, like on the armbands and the boots and stuff. I really like the smoothness of this Shira's boots and hands. So for my ultimate Shira, here she is. She sports the skirt that's whiter in color. Of course, the waist turns in the center. She has the old head, the old cape, and the old arms and the old boots That way then she has all the smooth features like the cartoon, but yet she can still ride Swiftwind. So this to me is my ultimate Shira. And there she is. All right, so that's enough about Shira. Let's talk about the Nameless One. So the Nameless One, when you get him, he looks something like this. And one thing about this figure is the stand he's on is just a flat peg. And so there is no articulation in there, and he just kind of stands. And he's kind of hard to make stand all the time because the extra weight of this right here. And so you got to sometimes kind of monkey with it and get it to work. And I noticed without that extra articulation, like we've seen with Orko, so you can see that Orko's stand has the extra articulation point because it's on a ball joint, and that makes it really cool. I decided to take the Orko ball joint stand and put it into the Nameless One. So now I have that extra articulation. And because he falls over so easy, I also added a washer to the bottom. Now, Orko's stand originally comes with a very small stand, and you can see the size difference in these two stands. So I went ahead and decided to take the bigger stand off of the original stand and pop it on there. So now I have a wide stand and the articulation. And then I can make him stand. Okay, cool. And I can take a stand and put him on there. Now you can lean him forward and have some cool attack moves. So let's put his wand in his hand. There we go. And you can see that's way more energetic looking pose than just him standing here. And of course, like I said, it's hard to make him stand with this big heavy hand in there. And so speaking of the washers, I also decided to add the washers to my Orko. This one right here is just a large washer up on the bottom and painted it black. I used to use the blue poster putty. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to use the larger stand. So I got another Orko here that I took and put the washers on the inside instead, used the larger stand, and now, you know, it's pretty hard to knock them over. And speaking of stands, we know when you've got the two extra figures, his girlfriend and his uncle, that they came with these silver stands. And these silver stands here, obviously they're not clear, and they have the nice wide base, but it's not removable. It's all one piece, so you can't use any pieces from this, so this whole thing is just kind of garbage. I went and got two Orko stands for these guys as well. I did not add the washers though, but they can stand. And you know what? For playability, you're probably not going to move them around a whole bunch anyway. So there we go. So that is how you make your Nameless One really cool by adding an Orko stand, add some heavy washers, and now you can make some cool action poses like he's flying forward or flying back or going to the side. However else you want to pose him and make him do crazy stunts. So, way cooler than just having him stand normal. I mean, I just think it looks way more cool for the action poses. Anyway, post your comments about that. And let's see. Actually, you know what? I think that's all I had. I don't see anything else laying around here for what I've done recently. So, that's the end of the video, you guys. Thanks for watching. Post your comments. Let me know what you think, and I will talk to you guys next video. Bye now.